Alright, now the ARCs are mounted to my 80/20 frame that I use for mounting all brake pedals to my SimXperience Stage 4 rig. And I have a heel plate here that was pre-cut, and I had a guy bend that for me, and it's just a matter of drilling some holes and attaching it to the bottom supports. And what I'm using for that is just some, again, 80/20 profile, but that is a 1" by 2". See if I can slide it around here so you can see what it is. That's a 1" by 2" profile, and it's just sitting on a 90-degree bracket under there. And of course the main frame is just 1" by 1". And I got another piece over here in the back that's holding it up 2 inches. So that gives my heel a 2" lift. Makes it very comfortable in my seating position on the way the rig is. I have a GS4 seat, remember, and that makes my seating position a bit elevated above normal, which means I have to raise things up. And we can see I just drilled some extra holes, and I was able to use that nice looking plate there. I did have to cut some off, and I was just drilled a few holes and ran some stainless screws, and you can see the anchors in there holding the profile down to the plate, and they're sticking out a little bit on the edges, but I'm really not worried about that. So it all went pretty well, and I'll just show you, swing around the back here. And again, it's just 90-degree corner brackets on each side screwed down to hold it on that way. And I'll go ahead and just swing underneath, see if we can get enough light under here. And you can see I've used some 2" brackets on those down on the corner and the back part. But the only reason I used that was because I had them. And then I'm also using a 2" holding that second 1" by 2" profile, because that offsets it far enough away from the pedals where I don't have any interference with the plate itself. And if you'll see, the reason I did that, there's where my holes for the bolts are, and you can see they run across the top. There's 4 of them, and there's my gap. So to have that gap, I had to use a longer bracket to push out that 2" by 1" piece to give me the room I needed. And we'll just swing around this side so you can see it from here. And again, not much to see, just some quarter brackets, but it gives you a general idea of what you can do if you're looking to set up something for your rig. It doesn't have to be the SimXperience rig, because you can mount these bottom 80/20 rails to anything. And unfortunately, I did have to cut the plate, and there's the piece I cut off of it. It's 1½ inches too long, so I had to do what I had to do to make this thing work right. But I'll probably use it for something else. Nothing like some 1/4" or 6mm 61 aluminum. I can use it for a bracket on something. Anyway, so it's on the frame like we want it to be. So now all we got to do is mount these puppies in, or slide them into the brackets that already exist on the unit. And I'll show you that real quick. We'll go over here to my SimXperience rig. See if I can throw a little light on this for you. And you can see there's the 4 brackets that are mounted already to my dusty bottom panel. And they're just 2" by 2" long by 1" wide brackets that'll hold those 1" profiles on the bottom. So basically I just start the back of that brake frame into these long nuts and just slide everything in. It's really an easy way to slide things in and out and to change pedal sets, because I like to test different pedal sets if I get a chance. So this makes it a lot easier. And when you clamp that down, those pedals go nowhere. I get stand on those pedals, the brake pedals, and it don't budge. So anyway, just thought I'd give you a shot of that. And now we'll go ahead and get them installed and see what they look like. Alright, now that we got the pedals all mounted up, I need to make an adjustment to my brake pedal. The throw on it's a bit too long for what I want to use right now. So just to demonstrate how easy it is to adjust the pedals once you have them mounted, all I have to do is, like I showed you before, to adjust the throw, is to loosen these 2 5mm screws here. And they're not hard to loosen. Take a second. And then I can actually raise the pneumatic piston here, and you can see that makes the pedal face move back as you raise it also. But what we're doing here is we're shortening the throw of the brake pedal, and it really shortens it a lot if you go all the way to the top. I'm going to put it a little bit lower than that. I think I'm going to go about, what, 3/4 or so. Let's see how that works. And of course, once I have it in position, just snug up my 5mm screws again. If I can find it. There we go. So that's nice and tight, so it's not going to go anywhere. But now, because the pedal face has moved back, what I'm going to have to do is go to the back here. First we loosen that 4mm screw, or grub screw, down on the bar that we saw before. And once you have that loose, and we got the big fat knob on the back, it's going to make this brake pedal come forward again to where we want it. And I'm going to want it about even with my clutch pedal here, because that's going to put it just a little bit ahead of my throttle pedal, and that's a good configuration for me to do some heel and toe, which I like to do. So that's about right about there. Maybe a little bit too far. Go back a little. Right there. Okay. So now we just tighten up our grub screw again. Make sure we got the other side nice and tight. Okay. Alright, so everything's tight. Rock solid. Ready to go.